Yeah, and so there's that deep enthrallment, and in the end, actually, one of the blessings of Babaji leaving his body or dying was to let people then begin working on trying to figure out where their own divine voice is inside.
Yeah.
So, so it's that place of our own divinity that the Guru really wants to deliver us to.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the pronunciation of Guru Ji. You are you.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And so the sense that we were meant as, you know, we're all children of God, and we're all meant to be our own God.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to hear it that baldly sometimes, but that is I think that's the place that Babaji invites us into, where the Guru disappears into us,
mm-hmm.
so that true north is situated in our hearts. And the grace of having a Guru in our lives is it animates our hunger and our thirst, which is native to us because that's the hunger and thirst of creation itself, to know itself consciously.
Mm-hmm.
So that Guru principle is like, you know, it's such a blessing. And I have, you know, you also heard in the workshop, Sophia go on, like, you kind of have to get over it that somehow this happened in your life because.
Yeah.
I had no.
She told me that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's hard. Yeah. And it also served me for the longest time. You know.
Yeah.
But there comes to a point where responsibility comes in, where you need to grow up a little bit more and move forward.
Yeah. In some ways, it's accepting our life as a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And taking responsibility or responding, being able to respond, the ability, responsibility to our gift of life to others as a blessing in the world.
I like that, the gift of life to others.
Yeah.
Not just to yourself, but to others.
Yeah. I mean, there's a mystery of that.
And love.
Yeah. I mean, there's that mystery of the economy, the home economy of the divine, that we are never fully ourselves unless we're with others and in service to others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And somehow having that service recognized and somehow received.
Yeah. And do you feel that when you were with Babaji, you talked about how, and I read that he led by example, and whether it be karma yoga, he would be out there doing karma yoga or anything. So, and I hear from many of the devotees that it felt like home there in a family. And Babaji as Baba, as the father of that community, do you feel that he was instilling this by showing everyone about service? Love?
Yeah, I would say that's a bit prosaic.
Mm-hmm.
His guidance was so. It was kind of beyond all of that. I mean, so when I came back and finished here, I felt a call into Christian ministry.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you know that. Yeah, so
No,
you didn't know, but yeah. So I left here in 1986 and was in Kansas City until 1990, where I finished seminary.
You were at Unity Village or no?
Actually, I worked at Unity in the prayer room.
Okay.
But I went to St. Paul's School of Theology, which is a United Methodist seminary.
Okay.
And then was ordained, and then worked for a couple years in the Midwest, and went back out to the West. So the reason I say that is that in the call of ministry, that's one of the big watchwords. Is you're never leading in the church except by example.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm familiar with that world, and Babaji's world was infinitely larger than that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, you're right. I mean, he would go out and pick up stones with us for a while, and he would also make snacks for us, cook food for us.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great kitchery cooker.
Wow.
And he would peel fruit for us and pass out fruit. But that at least for me in those days, there was no sense of co-equalness where I could even get my head around Babaji leading by example.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt so much bigger and mind-blowing to me.
It's just not like there's no words for what he was doing.
That's right. Yeah, it was. In some ways, it was unspeakable. I went trying to figure out, well, who is this? Who is this? And one afternoon, I was what's called the Gufa side in Hariakhan, the cave side, and so I went and made pranam, and it was, there was nobody else around, so I just gazed deeply into Babaji's eyes, and it was like falling into outer space. It was so spacious. There was such a spaciousness. And at some point, after that, I just kind of gave up trying to figure out who he was. So I said, well, he's just kind of dad.
So you got to a point where you just gave up and surrendered, trying to figure out who he was, and
that's yeah. And I mean, he was and continues to be really a mythic presence, particularly in the Indian community, that has a way of holding this tradition of guru so kind of profoundly. So yeah.
Do you see him more as a guru, or do you see him as Shiva?
Well, that's a nice question, David. I don't because I didn't grow up in that world, and because I entered it kind of beyond. I'd already been fairly formed in the West. That Shiva reality, it's like I get it non-verbally, but to say that I saw Baba as Lord Shiva, that doesn't have any real...
Or even the divine, or like as a divine avatar coming down. Or did you see him as an avatar, or you see him as a guru? Or
I very much saw him as an extraordinary reality of the divine.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was an embodiment of, he embodied the divine in more ways than my mind or my language could capture.
Wow. Yeah.
It was mind-blowing being around him. For me.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean,
Like these questions are just useless.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
yeah,
how can you explain it?
yeah.
What I'm seeing in you is, I just seeing you try to even explain it explains it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
It's nonverbal.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
mean, in terms of bandwidth, I just constantly found myself running out of bandwidth. So all these, I actually mentioned this the first day we were back here. In the Indian tradition, there are these 9-day celebrations of Navaratri in the fall and the winter, or in the spring. And these celebrations would be going on, and I would just try to be hanging on to Babaji. All these people would be coming in, and I had my duties. I was trying to, live the life there, which seemed to be, hard enough work. But to try to learn all of the stuff that accompanied Navaratri, I just didn't have the bandwidth for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that, like, when I was saying that I kind of put you on the spot about trusting Babaji.
Yeah.
That is similar to me with similar gurus and stuff. But what I've noticed in my time and looking at it is that the more doubt a person has, that's the amount of devotion that they have. So it kind of equals out.
There you go.
Yeah. So it wasn't. I can see that because we're human beings. We're humanity as itself, and we're also the divine. And this doubt comes, but the more doubt I feel, the more devotion. It just equals out, and I don't know how to explain it, but deep devotion in the heart also has that deep doubt in the mind. I think it's a beautiful play in the divine world and humanity world that it's almost just this game that the divine is playing with us.
Well, I think so. I mean, in a very kind of playful way, it's like a game of hide and go seek with the divine. It's the divine playing hide and go seek with the divine, and we're in the play as the play goes on, and sometimes the divine can't find itself. That's our doubt. It's like and that's it's somehow in the big mystery of it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to share, or do you think?
No, I mean I appreciate your work. I appreciate your journey, and just acknowledge the fun of being here with you and doing this workshop together.
Yeah.
Right on.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.